Scrappy friends, and a big welcome to my channel today. So what I've got for you is a share for SpiegelMom scraps. You saw the two cards that I'm creating, and I at the time of recording, two of the sequin mixes that I'm using are in stock. So it is Penguin Suit and Shine on Shine. They are both currently in the store. I'm recording this a little bit before this goes live, so hopefully they're still in the store, and you saw my code at the beginning of the video. What I have got here is some expressive blending card, which is what I use for all of my Copic colouring, and I have got some blue Copic markers. I'm sure you've worked that much out already. The colours that I'm using are obviously in the Bs, so I've got the darkest is B29, and then I've got 28, 26, 23, and 21. You can see what I'm doing here, and I have super duper sped this up. I didn't want to cut any of the process out, so I did speed it up quite fast. If I could colour this fast all the time, I would colour way more often. And all I'm doing here is a very basic ombre from a dark blue to a light blue. You can see that I am doing lots of coats, and if you are interested in any lessons on Copics and colouring, I would recommend Kit and Clouder. But what I've done, I started with my darkest colour. Before that, I used my lightest colour actually, and I marked out about where 1/5, so in fifths of this card front where they kind of ended. And you can see I've laid down, I started with my darkest colour, and then I flicked the ends so that I could blend my next darkest colour into that, so that the colour gradient was really nice. And I've done that all the way down. As you can see, when I move on to the next colours, I'm going across all of the colours to get a really smooth blend. I am somewhat out of practice, so this is not the best blending I've ever done, but it works perfectly for the purposes of what I am creating today. So doing this one panel is going to give me 2 cards, which is super exciting. So I'm just going to keep blending that out. The very last coat that I add is the lightest colour, and that's what I'm working on now, and I'm just adding that over the whole lot so that I get a really nice blend. You can see that I'm going to go over where some of the joins are, and that is done. So I've got my cameo here, and I have got my Ellie Studio, I think it's called My Star. My Star, I think it is. It is the biggest star in the die set. I'm going to cut that out, get this out of the way, peel this off, and there you go. So I have got my star and I have got my card front. That's how I get 2 cards. I'm going to add some wet adhesive around the back of the die cut, the cut. And I'm just using my clear stamp block here just to smush it down so that I get a really, really nice finish and it's all sealed properly. While that is drying, I'm going to work on my next card. And I have got a card base here. I'm using Territ tape from the store. This is the 1/4 inch. And you can see I'm just going to peel this off, attach. Actually, this is not a full card. This is just a card front. So I'm attaching my pattern paper, which is Cocoa Vanilla Studio, trimming that down. I love how that looks. I've got a piece of plastic here. Now, watch what I do. I'm going to stick it to the wrong side. So fair warning. I'm using this red line tape as well, also from the store. I love this stuff. I am I'll be honest, I'm a little paranoid about making things like this and having them fall apart. That would be kind of devastating. But it could be kind of funny depending who the card went to. But that's a whole different story. So I've got my red line tape on the back of my card front, and look, let's stick it down. I'm like, ah! I very, very carefully peeled it off. If you've never used red line tape, it is super duper sticky, which is why I like using it for this. So I have peeled off 3 sides of the backing here. I'm going in and I'm doing my corners. I've folded up the bottom edge. I'm folding over the sides and trimming these down as well so that I get a nice corner. Folding that over, and now I have a lovely little pocket where I can pop my sequins in. So I'm using 3 sets here. That first one I showed you is Total Coolness. It is a really old one from the shop. I've had it in my stash for a little while. And then I've got the Shine On and On, which I also love, which is so pretty. Like I said, that is currently in the store. I'm just showing you, no I'm not, I'm just checking if any of these are stuck together. So I'm just adding sequins in. You don't want to add too many, but you also don't want to not add enough. So adding those in. And then I'm coming in with Penguin Suit as well, which I love. So I think I'm going to pull out a bunch of these big silver ones, but leave a couple in there. This Penguin Suit is super fun. There you go. I'm just giving that a shake so that everything kind of moves around and I make sure I'm happy with how it's looking. And then peel that off, fold it over, and I have a card front. Look at that. A whole shaker card front. Love it. I'm going to use my my die cut star here. Again, I'm going with red line tape. It is on the outside of the card, stuck to plastic, so I want to make sure it is not going to move. And I'm just eyeballing that for the center. And then I realized that I wanted to add some black ink just to make it stand out a bit more. I do go in off camera and add a little bit of foam underneath some of those points just to make it stand out a little bit more. I've used some black puffy alphas and done HB for happy birthday. I also went in, when I gave this card, I gave it to my nephew and used some little black tile alphas and wrote the word for, F-O-U-R. And I really love how this card came together in the end. I do go back in and add some wet glue behind those letters so that they stay stuck, especially giving it to a 4-year-old. And here I go creating my shaker. So I have used the Big Mama foam tape, and you can see what I've done. I've just added that all around. I have found, if I haven't mentioned this before, that the only way I can get the backing off easily is with some sort of tool or implement. That's what the tweezers are there for. I have used a powder tool to make sure there's no static, but my fingers are causing static anyway. And I am using the Shine On, Shine. I'm actually using the exact same 3 sequin mixes. Again, links below. And I'm using the back side of what I had left over from my other card to back that. Now I stick this on, it's totally not straight. I don't make you watch it. I just basically pulled it apart and restuck it. You're going to see a couple of shots of the sequins, and then you're going to see a couple of shots of the cards. I love them. They've both been given to their new prospective owners. These are super, super fun to create. And it's nice to have a couple of cards in my stash ready to go for when I need them. I hope that you have enjoyed my share today. Make sure you check out the description box for all the links. As always, a big, big thank you for stopping by, and I will see you again in my next process video. Have a fantastic, scrappy day.